Yeah, compared to all the Godzilla monsters out there in the franchise, I just find King Caesar to be the weirdest for me. I don't know, I just seem to find him to be very, very weird. I mean, really. You haven't really found a monster this strange? I can't really blame you. And there's another monster in the franchise which I found very strange. Mogira. Yeah, I pretty much find this a little less stranger than King Caesar. But still, I mean, look, it's a dumb-looking robot. Don't get me wrong, Crystal X is a pretty fun monster to play as. Since, you know, it's made out of crystals, it can shoot some kind of hazardous blast out of its mouth, whatnot. But still, I find this to be on the same page as, well, Mogira as King Caesar. I find them to be very strange monsters. But don't get me wrong, I still like them. I just find them to be weird. Yeah, I know Mothra's a fan favorite and all, but I just don't like him that much as everyone does. Well, let's first talk about his larva form. I'm not entirely sure about it. All it can really do is shoot web and just throw itself around just to damage enemies with melee attacks. Now, Megalon is where the action's at. It's got drills for hands. It can shoot a frickin' beam out of its horn. And, hold on. Oh, now I did it. See, a digging monster, that's pretty generic. Next time you see a giant death beetle digging around at your backyard, make sure to run. Now this is also a regular looking monster. I mean, it's a humanoid pterodactyl. Don't get me wrong, Rodan is pretty unique in combat. I mean, it can fly, it can fire some kind of heat ray blast. But really the best part about it is that it can fly, and not many monsters in this game can do that. But what I don't understand is why they call it Fire Rodan when it looks like the completely regular version of Rodan. I mean, really the only thing fire about it is the heat ray. Now let me explain Mothra first before I forget. Yeah, she's pretty unique since she can permanently fly and has that rainbow beam and can spread nauseous gases which pretty much like stuns the monster. And then there's Varen. I mean, he can shoot this pretty unique blast or whatever. But at least his design's more creative than Rodan's. I mean, it's a reptilian creature that can fly like a flying squirrel. That was pretty creative at the time. But however, what keeps Varen lower on the list, because he didn't really serve that much of a purpose in the franchise. Jet Jaguar has pretty much got to be one of the best monsters in the franchise. It's probably no joke that the idea of him came from, I don't know, a school kid? No, I'm not kidding. That's literally where the idea of Jet Jaguar came from. Well, let's check his abilities. Well, basically, the only thing I find pretty interesting about him is the fact that he can change sizes. However, I don't know how to change back or grow larger. Hold on, maybe. Or if I... Alright, come on. Okay, before anyone rages at me for pretty much putting the original Mechagodzilla below Mechagodzilla 2, just hear me out. I'm not really much debating between the two. I mean, really, Mechagodzilla looked cool in the movie he's from, While for Mechagodzilla 2 in the movie he's from, he had a weakness towards hand-to-hand combat. But during the latest Godzilla fighting games, they pretty much fixed that and made Mechagodzilla 2 a killing machine in combat. While for Mechagodzilla, well, they changed his expression. I mean, it looks more freakier than from what it was in the movie. Yeah, after what I said in the last segment, you probably knew that Mechagodzilla 2 is next on the list. I mean, why not? During the latest fighting games, they pretty much fixed him up and made him a killing machine. At least in combat, that is. I mean, look at this. Also, unlike Mechagodzilla in this game, Mechagodzilla 2 can fly. And before I end this segment, you spin me right around, baby, right around. Yeah, here we have another classic monster in the franchise, Anguirus, or Anguirus, whichever one you would call it. I think Anguirus is one of those defensive type of monsters in the roster. Since, you know, it has a pretty unique defense, since it has spikes that covers his whole shell. But what puts him on the lower list is he can do this blow attack. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty unique, but the thing is, it reminds me of Baragon has a unique fighting style. While Anguirus is defensive, Baragon is offensive. Plus, and since he's offensive, and since he's pretty much stands in all fours, really the way that you'll hit him with use a range attack is if you do the throwing attack on him and then do this attack. It's pretty unique. On number 14, we have Megaguirus, which is a giant death moth, or as I like to call, Queen Death Moth. Yes, this is a queen moth monster. It's a she. Well, allow me to explain more about Megaguirus. Well, for one thing, when it's introduced, it's basically been assisted by these insects which first appeared in Rodan's individual movie. Next thing you know, they've been extracting Godzilla's DNA into a cocoon which later hatches into Megaguirus. I've always liked Megaguirus as a kid. I don't know, maybe it's because of its design, the sound it makes. I've always liked it. Yeah, now we're getting to the big guns. Obsidius, even though he originated from this game, he's still a pretty creative and destructible monster. I mean, he was mutated from, like, volcanic particles, probably. At least that's my best guess. And since he's pretty much made of lava, he's probably nearly indestructible. Is there anything more I could say about Obsidius besides there's a YouTuber that made a channel in dedication to this guy? Well, besides that, I got nothing else to say. Even though I pretty much find the original design of Gigan to be all, I don't know, meh. I gotta admit, the Millennium design is an improvement. I mean, look at it. It's as if those blades were actually scythe blades, and he's all more mechanical than he was in the original series. Also, he's got that I-beam. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, he's got a buzzsaw on his chest. But he's also the first ever monster in the franchise to cause blood to be shed. I'm not sure whether or not you expected Godzilla 90s to be on this list, I mean, at least in this segment. But you gotta at least admit, it is pretty unique at the time. Plus, it has a unique fighting style. It seems like the more brawler kind of monster. Plus, there's also this move. Look at him go! Also, when it comes to offense and defense, he's kind of balanced. Is there anything more I could say about Godzilla 90s? Well, all I can think of is Godzilla Jr. Yeah, I have conflicting opinions comparing the original Godzilla to Godzilla 90s. Since they're both pretty similar in this game, I mean, they both got the similar throwing move. They both seem like balanced boxers, and both of their atomic breaths are blue. There are two things which puts the 1954 Godzilla up slightly higher than the 90s Godzilla. One, since it appeared in the first and original movie, it leaves a more lasting impression. And also, he has a much better role.